Before we get into, becoming that 40,000 foot operator, let's just define what does it mean for a business to be at a level where there can be a 40,000 foot operator, because not every business can really have that. What has to be in place for us to be able to get to that point?
You mean as if you were already a 40,000 foot operator?
Well, just what
What
does
did it
that
take to
business
get
look like?
there?
If there's a business that has a
Well,
40,000 foot operator, what does that business really look like?
okay. Then really the owner, well, I've got a great example. There was a company in Oklahoma City, a pretty good size supply house for roofing and stuff. And the private equity guys came out and were all over them, wanted to buy them. And what really clinched the deal was they went out to the shop, the warehouse, and nobody in the warehouse knew who the owner was. Didn't know that was the owner.
Yeah.
So there you go in a nutshell. And this guy, when he started the company, I mean, I know him pretty well. He would check the tires on the trucks for delivery before he got in and drove the truck to deliver. I mean, he loaded the trucks, he checked the tires, he drove. So he started at that level, which was definitely ground level.
Yeah.
And by the time he was done, simply stated, nobody out in the shop in operations knew who he was. And that, of course, tickles, if you can tickle a venture capitalist, not a venture capitalist, private equity guys, that tickled their fancy, because that's a good sign.
Yeah.
That means somebody else can come in and run it, do well. So that's it in a nutshell. But basically, you've learned a lot of lessons. You're highly leveraged, both in terms of you make money off of people who work for you and off of capital that you utilize. You make your time, you get this free time because you reach the point where you hire specialists, let's call them professionals, such as a CFO, marketing expert, HR person. Maybe you're big enough, you've got your own IT people, but you're starting to hire specialists rather than you doing it all the time. And you have the opportunity to focus on working on your business. Like my friend who sold it, there was a point there where he decided to sell, and there's a lot to do when you actually sell. Yeah. And he was free to do all those things. So there's more, but basically that's where you are. Day-to-day work does not depend on you. Operations, day-to-day operation work.
Yeah, I think we've done an episode in the past on the 9 essentials of an organized business. And I think you need to be an organized business in order for there to be the potential of being a 40,000 foot operator. And those 9 essentials, we've gone through these before, but vision, mission, culture, goals or planning, however you want to phrase it. And then an org chart with job descriptions and systems and KPIs, and then even how-tos of just actually doing the work. When you have all those things in place, you have a shot at being a 40,000 foot operator. In addition to that, you need to have really good data. You need to be able to know your numbers and know your customers, and know your goals and the KPIs like we mentioned earlier. But those are just some attributes of that business that needs that. So if you're listening to this, you don't have a lot of that stuff, you can still become a 40,000 foot operator, but it's not happening today. There's a lot of steps to get there.